Good evening. This is Sunday Express. Being the 10th of May 2026, we join the world in celebrating motherhood. The conversations tonight on our Candid Conversation are going to be speaking on matters of fertility, stigma, infertility, adoption to IVF, including abortion debates and delayed motherhood. Also, women are now choosing to live child-free lives. So these conversations are going to be forming part of Sunday Express tonight as we celebrate motherhood. But before we discuss that, on a night that Kenya is preparing to host the Africa Forward Summit, here are the highlights.
It's all systems go for the Africa France Summit. Nairobi turns into a beehive of activity as it plays host to the high-level Africa Forward Summit beginning tomorrow. In the pursuit of the Mandera Matatu attackers, security agencies say they have obtained crucial leads. Happy Mother's Day! Kenya joins the rest of the world in celebrating mothers.
Good evening once again, and happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there across the world and across the region. Remember, mothers are not only those who gave birth to you, but those who stood in the gap, of your mom. I'm Regina Manyara. My colleague on sign language is none other than Byron Abuli. Now we start off on matters bilateral ties between Kenya and France, where they have signed 11 agreements aimed at deepening bilateral and trade ties between the two nations. As part of agreements, this includes the modernization of the Nairobi commuter railway system worth 12 billion shillings and a 9 billion shillings construction and management of a new terminal at the port of Mombasa. Here's O'Brien Kimani with the details.
The French President Emmanuel Macron jetted into the country for the second time today, 7 years after he made his maiden African trip. The French president is in the country to attend the France-Africa Summit, which is seen as an attempt to reset French ties with Africa after suffering major political, economic and social setbacks in its traditional domain of West Africa.
It's hard to say that Western Africa will not be present in this room. You have 3 countries, and I do regret that, which decided, because of the coup and the behaviors of the military people in charge, to put them aside from the rest of the club, by the way, aside of ECOWAS as well and others. It doesn't mean that West Africa is not part of this meeting.
President William Ruto has said the meeting will help Africa and France chart a new path of collaboration and mutual respect.
The first summit signaling a shift to a broader, much more inclusive relationship with Africa, recalibrated with the understanding of respect for sovereignty, being a relationship that is mutually beneficial and a relationship that recognizes Africa's position and priorities.
President Ruto has said Kenya will use France to push the interests of Africa on the global space, especially on restructuring the global financial system, security cooperation, and green energy development. Already, Kenya and France have signed a security cooperation that seeks to secure Kenyan maritime domain and address terrorism. Part of the economic deal signed today between Kenya and France includes the modernization of the Nairobi commuter rail system from Central Station to suburbs like Ruiru, Syokimau and Riruta.
We have held extensive bilateral discussions aimed at deepening cooperation in trade and investment, particularly in manufacturing, renewable energy, pharmaceuticals, digital innovation, and agro-industrial development.
Another agreement will see France invest 9 billion shillings in modernizing the port of Mombasa to improve efficiency and capacity. The 2-day France-Africa meeting will see heads of state from Africa, business leaders and investors meet in Nairobi in a bid to reset ties with Paris. And Regina, the France-Africa Summit is expected to culminate on Tuesday with the signing of the Nairobi Declaration, a document which is going to spell out how Africa and France will engage going forward. Regina.
Thank you very much, O'Brien Kimani, for that particular report. KBC Channel 1 is going to be the partner for this particular summit, and so we're going to be breaking down the policy and the deals that are going to be signed in this particular shift towards, focusing on Kenya and France relations, especially bordering on matters manufacturing, energy, as well as transport. We're going to be keeping tabs on that. Remember, Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to be bringing you live feed from the various locations in the country. Now on to matters security. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has acknowledged that insecurity linked to banditry remains a persistent challenge in several parts of the country, saying the government is intensifying long-term security and development interventions to address the problem. His remarks came as security agencies investigating Saturday's deadly ambush in Mandera County say they have obtained crucial leads as operations intensify in pursuit of the attackers who killed 6 people and injured several others.
Security operations have intensified in Omar Jilo and surrounding areas of Mandera County following Saturday's ambush that left 6 people dead and several others injured.
Tumeanzisha uchunguzi na unaendelea na tayari tumepata fununu kuhusiana na hayo mashambulizi, na hivi karibuni hao ambao wamefanya kitendo hiki cha uhaini wataweza kupatikana na kushtakiwa kufuatana na sheria.
The victims were traveling towards Arabia town when armed attackers opened fire on their vehicle in what is suspected to have been a planned ambush along the route.
Sisi kama serikali ya Mandera, Gavana Mohamed Adan Khalif, pia mimi kama deputy governor, inshallah tumesimama na nyinyi bega kwa bega. Tutahakikisha kwamba wale wameletwa hapa watapata huduma muhimu sana ya hospitali.
Meanwhile, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says insecurity linked to banditry remains a challenge in several regions, driven by illegal firearms, porous borders, and long-standing development gaps in affected areas.
Bunduki yenye ziko katika dunia hiyo ni 3,000 na hizo bunduki zote inatokana na kuwa na porous borders, kuwa na majirani kama Somalia, kuwa huko Ethiopia, sehemu ambayo hawana serikali ambayo inachunga mambo ya bunduki, mambo ya South Sudan na sehemu zingine za Uganda huko.
Murkomen says additional security measures are being rolled out, including improved deployment of officers and coordination with the local communities to strengthen surveillance in high-risk areas.
Tumepanga kuhakikisha kwamba tunaweka more NPR officers. Wale wenye walikuwa pale ambao ni wakora tunawaondoa wao. Kuna NPR wengine pia walienda kushikana na wale wakora. Hawa ndio wanaambia kujeni saa ngapi, ng'ombe iko wapi, mwenye ng'ombe ako wapi, na hiyo. Na hawa, if we hear tumeshika hawa, tumewapeleka kotini, hakuna mtu msimtetee.
Leaders have meanwhile called for calm in Mandera, warning against retaliatory attacks as investigations continue.
Naomba wakaaji wa Mandera tusiwe na haraka ya kutaka kulipiza kisasi, tutulie na tuachie serikali iweze kuchukua hatua kwa wale ambao watapatikana wamehusika na kitendo hiki.
Security agencies say operations will remain ongoing until those behind the ambush are arrested and prosecuted. Ben Chumba, Sunday Express.
That's a developing piece, and we're going to keep track on that particular security bit. Now, to matters success, as you can see from this particular display here, we have awards that my colleagues have actually taken. And this is Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's news anchor, Marie Yambo, senior radio editor, Asha Hamisi, radio programs manager, Mary Daraja, alongside Mwato FM presenter, Virginia Mwakali, were among women feted during the 6th edition of the Impactful Women in Leadership Gala and Summit in Nairobi. The quartet was recognized among the 100 most impactful women in Kenya for their courage, vision, and commitment in using their voices to spearhead positive change in society. The summit held in Nairobi aimed at celebrating women making an impact in different sectors and recognizing their contribution towards transforming communities.
The 6th edition of the Impactful Women in Leadership Gala and Summit in Nairobi brought together women in various cadres of leadership in a special celebration and recognition of their unwavering commitment and efforts to positively impact the society. Through the Independent Kenya Women Awards, the summit at the same time sought to amplify the voice of women in the society and in a special way inspire generations to take up leadership and transformational roles.
It's a platform where we get to give young girls and women to voice various social challenges that we face in our community, mostly in gender-based violence, talking about the good governance, talking about the role of women in leadership.
From KBC.
Among those who made to the list of 100 most impactful women in Kenya include KBC Channel 1 TV news anchor Marie Yambo and KBC Radio senior editor Asha Hamisi, whose voices on air continue to champion conversations around social change and empowerment.
For me, where I am right now with the experience that I have, it's about being an inspiration to the upcoming journalists, to tell them, like, if you focus, if you put your heart into what you're doing, you will actually reach somewhere.
This is a recognition not just for me, but also for the national broadcaster, which I'm a very proud staff member, and also to my colleagues and my seniors.
The corporation's radio programs manager, Mary Daraja, also scooped the Excellence in Media Leadership, Ethical Journalism and Gender Advocacy Award, while Matu FM presenter Virginia Mwakali won the Political Analysis and Media Excellence Award. For the winners, this was not just a recognition, but a celebration of a journey marked by struggle, endurance and resilience in the media industry.
I'm also grateful for this opportunity because it shows we are not just talking to ourselves when we are in the studio, but we are creating big impacts out there.
Whatever place that a woman wants to venture into, you have people who have already ventured there, so just need to look out for them, and they should be able to actually just hold your hand, mentor you or something of that sort.
The participants also took the opportunity to call for concerted efforts in ensuring the voices of women in the country are heard and their space in the society is well protected.
My humble request to the President of the Republic of Kenya and the IEBC to kindly ensure that journalists are given some days to vote, or we get to vote to any polling station. That is my urge, yeah.
I want to dedicate this to the Migori residents, also the county CEO, who is the governor, Dr. Chilo Ayako. The First Lady has been an inspiration to me and my mother and all the mothers in this nation. I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day, just to tell you that believe in yourself and let God do the rest.
John Kahiro for Sunday Express.
Well, in ladies, we can see the awards came here for display, so we really do acknowledge what you have done in your various capacities there, adding voices to sectors and most even topics that most people shy away from, but you have tackled it. Congratulations, ladies. Onwards, upwards, as we say, let's continue bagging them. And what a better night or a day when we are marking or rather celebrating motherhood there. Now we cross over to matters politics, where a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders say that the 2027 general election will not only be about President William Ruto's win, but the magnitude of the victory. Led by the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, the leaders are confident that UDA victory will break the endless cycle of presidential petitions after the polls. Here's Abdiaziz Hashim with the details.
Kenya Kwanza leaders led by the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi joined faithfuls at the Holy Mass at St. Peter's Cathedral in Kapsabet, Nandi County. It is here where the ruling party exuded confidence in clinching another term in 2027.
It is not about the victory. It is now going to be the size of the victory. That is what we should be working for. We want him to win so that there is no doubt.
Kuna watu wanatembea kwa sehemu zote wakihubiri ukabila na utengano. Ile kazi mlimpatia Mheshimiwa Rais inasaishwa kutumia ile report card ataleta, itasaishwa kupitia marking scheme ile iliwekwa wakati ya campaign.
The leaders arguing that 2027 will not be about victory, but the size and the margin of President Ruto's win.
Msimamo ambao tumechukua ni kusema kwamba sio tu Mheshimiwa William Ruto ashinde tena, lakini sasa tunataka ashinde kwa kiwango ambacho yule mtu ambaye atathubutu kuenda kwa petition ataona aibu.
The question I want you to ask yourself is, what is it that the rest of the world sees in the leadership of William Ruto that you never get a chance to see here in Kenya? Because it is not that those people are idle.
Sisi na Wakenya wote, we are for a united Kenya.
This as the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has revealed that he has no intentions for vying for any seat come 2027.
Sasa mambo ya siasa, nimekuwa ordinary MP, nikakuwa assistant minister, nikakuwa minister, nikakuwa senator wenu, sasa niko speaker number 3 in Kenya. Kweli nitakuwa wazimu kiasi gani kurudi nyuma kubishana kwa mambo madogo madogo.
Meanwhile, the Linda Mwananchi faction led by Siaya Governor James Orengo has come to the defense of the Anglican Bishop Charles Oginjo of Kisumu County over his latest sentiments against the state.
And Bishop, continue telling truth to power. Those who speak the truth are often persecuted, but you have stood so steadfast.
Elsewhere, the United Opposition leaders have called for thorough investigations into the murder of the slain parish minister, Julius Ngari Ndumia.
That there is a CCTV footage showing the people who killed Reverend Ndumia. We want to call upon the police to allow the church to release the CCTV footage.
And this has never happened before in our country, that a spiritual leader is slaughtered inside the church.
The DCI has since confirmed that 2 suspects have been arrested so far in connection with the cleric's killing. Abdiaziz Hashim for Sunday Express.
Well, Sunday Express takes its fast breather, but when we come back, we're going to be tackling a conversation as we mark Mother's Day on fertility, stigma, adoption of IVF, abortion debates, and delayed motherhood, as well as so many other aspects when it comes to the changing shifts within motherhood. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow, uwe fiti mambo ya returns. Jumanne ya tarehe 12 mwezi Mei, tutazuru eneo la Nyeri kuanzia Karatina. Tuingie Mkurueni, Othaya, Nyeri Town, Mweiga, Kiawara, Chaka na hatimaye tumalizie na Rumoro. Tarehe 30 Juni kwa mlangoni. Usingoje hadi dakika za mwisho. File KRA returns mapema. Ishi bila stress. Jijue, jibeta. KRA, tulipe ushuru.
Nairobi, your time is now. Mafani ya kutoka blog na KBC imeamua lazima uomoke. Tutakuwa tunakaa mtaa yako kukomosha very fast. Jibu maswali zangu 3 tuoneka kweli wewe ni true fan wa KBC Channel 1. Na ukizipata 25K ni yako. So make sure una watch KBC Channel 1. Alafu kinicheki kwa streets. Niulize kana kuomosha leo. Omoka na KBC Channel 1. Uanga bad.
Welcome back. You're watching Sunday Express. Now, Kenya joined the rest of the world in marking Mother's Day today. The day that honors unwavering love, strength and sacrifice of mothers and mother figures in their children's lives. Our reporter Teresa Mutai gives us a highlight of how the day was marked in different parts of the country, with mothers from different walks of life sharing heartfelt reflections on their own definition of motherhood, with a call for more support of mothers for the critical role they play in shaping society.
The usually quiet grounds of Kabarnet police station came alive with songs and dance and laying of lassos on the ground as hundreds of mothers gathered to celebrate the OCS Shamsa Abedi, a woman they say has changed their community. For years, many families, especially mothers in the town, struggled silently as alcohol and drugs consumed the lives of their families.
Tumekuja hapa kwa ajili ya kushukuru huyu mama, Madam OCS. Kwa ajili ametufanyia kazi mzuri sana.
Baada ya wamama wengi kuona manyumba sao manyumba mingi ama tuseme kila familia inalia sababu ya vitu zinafanyika kwa society zenye si mzuri, hasa zaidi kwa maneno ya mihadarati na maneno ya pombe.
A situation that prompted various protests in Kabarnet town, but all that is changing.
Wakati OCS alipofika Kabarnet, vijana wetu hawakuwa wakilala manyumba. Siku ya leo tukikaa hivi 3/4 of vijana wetu wanalala nyumbani.
Hope emerged about a year ago after the deployment of OCS Shamsa Abedi, who launched sustained operations targeting illicit brew dens, drug peddlers and criminal networks.
Na the kind of information tunashare na shukuru kama polisi sisi tuna appreciate, ndio maana tulikuwa sema issue ya community policing. Community policing, polisi peke yangu sitaweza.
Residents say her efforts have restored order in a previously troubled town. Back in Nairobi, a flower vendor, Grace Wanjiru, opened shop on this Mother's Day.
Kwanga nikiuza flowers hapa for a while. It's been 5 years and I like selling flowers because it spreads love. Yeah, unasikianga poa sana kuandikia mtu kadi wakipeleka za birthday and whatever. And for today, because I'm a mom, ningependa other moms kupata gifts. Yes, to feel wonderful.
Grace, who was, however, hoping to make a killing on the flower business this Mother's Day, says the business has been a bit low compared to last year, owing it to tough economic times.
Mother's Day lo imekuwa chini. We are still hoping, even though tuko bado, the day is still new, tunaomba other people will still come. Yes, imekuwa low. If we compare from last year, it was high, but we can see the economy kuna venye inflammation and everything.
Grace says motherhood can be challenging and there is need for support and understanding from society.
It's a job, especially mentally, so consider them. Always be asking their welfare and all those things.
Her sentiments were echoed by other mothers who celebrated the day at the Holy Family Basilica.
Bila mama hakuna familia. Mama ni nguzo ya familia.
To the society out here, it is good that we continue supporting our mothers so that they can be able to do their job easily.
As the world celebrates International Women's Day, women continue to be mentioned as the pillar of the society. Happy Mother's Day for Sunday Express. I am Teresa Mutai.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Tessa. I know you're just a new mom. You're still learning the ropes. Well, let's just say it doesn't get easy, but it gets familiar and it's all worthwhile. We've also said that you do not necessarily have to be the biological mother, but you can be the mother figure, or the person stepping in that particular gap. So tonight we're celebrating women and we are joined by a remarkable woman. That is none other than Lydia. I'll call her Lydia Ndiho.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Happy
Mother's Day.
Thank you.
You have a remarkable tale to tell, and that's why we are here to have this conversation. And I know Mother's Day can be very emotional for many women. What does this day personally mean for you?
For me, it's achieving what I really wanted to do, which was become a mother. Even after all the struggles, after all the mishaps, after all the medical struggles just to become a mother. I think for most of us, or as girls maybe, I can say, we all wanted to be mothers because we wanted to be our mothers because we would see them doing all these things. So just for me, being a mother today is a remarkable thing. And given the journey, I'm excited to be a mother.
So what did you do for the day? As we were working, that's obvious. So what did you do?
I took my mom out. So we went for Kikuyu love sessions, mothers and melodies. And so we had a different experience today from the usual lunch and, so we went and listened to Esther Wahome and a few other artists, and it was really good.
All right. So I know you'll not ask me, but I received this note from my daughter.
Pretty.
Yes, all the green, the purple and everything. And I found it when I was coming to work to actually just anchor this bulletin. And I like that she says, I love you, my beautiful mom, and may God fulfill all your dreams. I'm like, oh, the notes are wonderful, right?
Yes,
it's a nice feeling. So happy Mother's Day to you once again.
Thank you.
Now Lydia, you have openly spoken about battling PCOS. How difficult a journey was that, emotionally and mentally. Maybe you can paint a picture for us. So as we discuss it, it's one of those things that we do not discuss about, but we're still living with it.
I think for me, one of the realities that you face when you have something like PCOS or you're going through IVF, IUI, all these other issues that you're going through, is when you get to church, like on Sunday, and it's Mother's Day, and everyone gets these very cute little gifts, and you don't get one.
I know.
Because your daughter is not there or your son is not there to give you the gift.
Yeah.
So it becomes a very difficult day. And then there are people who make careless remarks. On that day, you'll hear someone say something very careless from the pulpit, and everything in you says, just go home. Just go home. Go home. Go home.
Go home. Moment. Breathe in, breathe out.
Breathe out and go. And so most of the time, you will not meet us going out for lunch.
Yeah.
You will not meet us in these public places celebrating mothers, because for you, it's a wound. It's a wound that no one is seeing, but it's so deep. I mean, I've had remarks on Mother's Day where I have picked my handbag and gone home, and I'm
so
like...
are you saying that, did you experience stigma? Is that what you're saying? From
Yes.
society, or even family, or even friends?
There's usually an exclusion because you don't have a child.
Yeah.
And no one seems to think... Today it was better. In fact, today I was like, hey, all of us have been given roses. Today there's no exclusion. But usually before... It has changed only, I think, in the last 2 years. Before that, mothers would be given, like you'd get little bookmarks from Sunday school. Your kids would bring you the bookmarks.
Yeah.
Or if it's main service, you'll see all the mothers are told to stand up and all the babies bring them flowers.
Yeah.
And then the pastor prays for them.
Yes.
You're not in that bracket.
Okay.
You are not there. So
that must have been tough.
It's tough.
All right. So you decided eventually to choose adoption.
Yes.
What actually really called it for you? There's that eureka moment, I'm going to do this. What led you to that decision?
After the 4th failed treatment, we're at number 4. My body was like, we need a break. We need a break from all the hormones, because you inject yourself with hormones, you're injecting yourself with different, you're going through very, for lack of a better word, very uncomfortable procedures. So I was like, I need a break. So when I took the break is when I started, interesting enough, just people started talking about adoption around me.
All right.
So that was like, what is this thing? I mean...
So you had never
considered it. I had said I'll stay without a child.
All right. So what changed your mind?
Literally just listening to someone talk about adoption near me. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. Let's find out. So I went to an adoption agency. I was given all these facts, all this paperwork. And I was like, there are this many children who need mothers and I'm here just being, I was like, sign me up. I'm convinced.
A majority of people, Lydia, might be hearing your story, but they do not really think that this actually happens within the country. It's something of the books and films. Yes. So there are adoption agencies, certified adoption agencies in the country.
In Kenya, we have certified by government adoption agencies that are meant to help you adopt. You cannot go to a children's home and just pick a baby, because that child might not legally be free for adoption. Because in Kenya, by the time you're free for adoption, they have looked for all your relatives. They have found, I mean, the police and the children's department has looked for anyone who is related to you.
Yes.
Until they're like, okay, now we've even put it, we've advertised it. I'm sure you've seen the adverts on newspaper.
Yes.
It's for that process to go on, so that we have done all we can to find a living relative for this child.
Yes.
So then we can have the children declared free for adoption.
All right.
So
I know this is a bit personal.
Yes.
So did you adopt a girl? Did you adopt a boy?
I adopted a girl.
So congratulations,
Yes.
you're a mother to a daughter.
Yes.
How did it feel when you first met your daughter for the first time?
Oh, I fell in love with her. I just fell in love with her. So she was playing like on a carpet and stuff. I just looked at her and I was like, that's my baby. Like, that's my baby. Yes, there's an adjustment process which you are taught. You know, for any new mother, you have an adjustment process. The sleepless nights are here. Because I mean, please note, this child comes to you as a child. They are not coming to you as an adult.
An adult, yes.
Like for her, we got her at 6 months. So at 6 months, this child is yours. You're responsible for this human being.
And it's a super Eid.
Yes.
The world revolves around them. There's no change. Yeah.
Yes, there's nothing that's going to change. So for me, that adjustment was good, because then the feeling of motherhood comes. Because you're like...
So one cannot argue and say, you know, there are those who actually argue and say that a child that you have adopted is not really your own. What would you tell them today?
By law, and by all other means, that is your child. Because once you adopt, you get a birth certificate with your name and your partner's name if you did a spousal adoption. There's no difference between my daughter's birth certificate and the biological birth certificate. It's the same number.
The same. So it's your child.
It's your child.
We insist it's your child.
And you're even told by the adoption agency will insist, please note that this child has the same rights as any other child in your home. So which means even when it comes to inheritance, that child is yours. When it comes to care, that child is yours.
So they're equal.
There's
no disparity.
Yeah.
So we are seeing as if there's some shift, you know, more Kenyan women are open to pursuing IVF and fertility treatment. Do you think the society is becoming more compassionate or more vocal?
More vocal, I think.
More vocal.
We're tired of being quiet about it. And we are realizing the more you speak about it, the more you get help. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to IVF and IUI is cost.
Is that factored under the universal health care?
It's only applicable to teachers. The last I checked, SHA
only teachers
covers teachers and teachers of a certain cadre. If I'm the ones who have an enhanced cover.
Yes,
they're the only ones who right now are allowed to have treatment.
Those kind of treatment.
So whether you're in the military, whether you're like me who just pays SHA, you don't have that privilege.
So the current policy health framework does not take up that.
No. So you'll now start saving, because you will need, SHA cost 300,000 if you're doing IUI. If you're doing IVF, it can go all the way up to $1 million, depending on what your complications are. That is money that you are just investing in the treatment. The probability of you getting pregnant is what, 33 to about 36%? Yeah. So the cost is really high. And so I think we have gotten to the place where if we do not become vocal about it, if we don't speak about it, one, we need government to start subsidizing our drugs. We need them to start paying for IVF for every woman who wants to do IVF or who medically needs IVF. Because, like, for example, if you don't have fallopian tubes, you don't have fallopian tubes.
There's nothing that can be done about
You need IVF.
All right.
Yeah.
So that is that in terms of finances and also the emotional, you know, it's quite intense, I can imagine. And you did it 4 times. So then there is also a new shift that we have seen, and it is way against the traditional or the contemporary. More women are choosing to have children later in life, either because of career, finance, or personal goals. In Kenya, can we say, are we ready for that conversation yet?
It's a conversation we have to have.
Yes.
Whether we're ready for it is
neither here nor there.
neither here nor there. Because the truth of the matter is, our parents had most of their children between the age of 18 to 23, 24. Now, we're having women having babies at 40, 44. I've had one at 50 having a child.
Yeah.
So whether we like it or not, the shift is happening. And then there are also women who are choosing not to have children.
That is it. They don't want to have children.
That's there.
I think we've not come to terms with that fact that there's a woman out there who doesn't want to have a child.
Yes.
They're not unwell. They can take care of themselves. They just don't want to have children.
Yes.
It's really very hard to tackle. And this brings me to the next question. Have we, in your perspective as a mom, having gone through the process, yes, as a woman also, is motherhood, you know, not just in Kenya, but also in Africa, treated as a woman's priority identity? How do you feel?
Yes, it is. I think I call it subtle discrimination and stigma when you don't have a child. It's when everyone will ask you, so when's the baby coming?
Yes.
When's the baby coming?
When are you having a baby?
Think about it. You get married perhaps in January. You go for Easter in April and everyone is asking you, I mean,
yes.
And they're not asking the guy. How many guys do you know are asked about babies?
Rarely, not the case.
Yeah.
They don't.
Your mother
It's actually a woman thing.
Yes.
Childhood is a woman thing.
Yes.
Getting pregnant is a woman thing, and it needs two people.
Yes.
All right.
Think of it this way. Let me put it this way. If you ask your mom to ask your brother about a child, your mom will look at you like you're going mad.
True.
Yet, most likely your brother is older than you and has no children.
Yes, but that's not a conversation that will come up in any sitting whatsoever.
Yes.
All right. So now, from where we're also talking about debate around, rights that continue to divide society. Issues of pro-life, pro-choice. We have seen that in the recent past. We've had demos, we've had litigation issues and such. From where you sit, I see you're a member of an adoption agency. Adoption, family, so to speak. What is your take?
Wow, okay, that's a hard one.
Yes,
that's a hard one, but I will say this. I think if you're pregnant and you want to keep the baby, keep the baby. If you can't keep the baby, there are options. Explore the options. Explore adoption. Because in Kenya, we have mother offers where I give birth, I have 6 weeks, whether I want to keep the baby or not. If I decide I don't want to keep the baby, I'll go to an adoption agency or the chief of my village and say, I don't want this baby. Or if I don't want my people to know I don't want this child, I'll travel. I can go to any children's department in this country and say, I don't want this child. And they will pick the child from me, and I will swear an affidavit, and get, the baby's gone from my life.
Okay.
So we have choices. For me, I'm very pro-life, but that's because my mother got me when she was 16. So I'm always like, gosh.
If she was pro-choice, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. We thank God for your mother. That's why you still need to continue having those outings with her.
Yeah.
But as you said, let's explore the options. So do you think from where you sit, has Kenya made, created enough spaces, to have honest conversations on reproductive health, fertility, pregnancy loss, and women's choices? Do you think as if we have created those space, we can have these conversations without judging each other?
No, we haven't.
Yes.
And the reason being, a lot of the questions I get, like if I talk, I give a talk somewhere, are from women who have not even figured out how their cycle works. So even from basics of education, where we can do interventions that will save you from doing an IVF later in life, because at 16 you went for a checkup, you found out, oh, I have a growth here, it was removed, your uterus was sorted out. PCOS can be tested from when you are 16 years old. We are not testing because these girls are not coming to see a doctor.
They even are not aware that they need to.
They need
so the awareness, the information
There's no information. And then we don't want, truthfully, I think one of the fights that I think is ridiculous that is in the space right now, we don't want our girls to talk about it.
Yes, the sexual reproductive health conversation has always been taboo.
we have to talk about it, because whether we like it or not, we have to save these girls. And we can't save them at 35 when we could have had an intervention at 16.
At an early age.
Because I have 1 or 2 girls who've come to me and they have fibroids and they're 16, 17. At 16, 17, it's a conversation that you can have and solve.
All right. So as we bring this to a close, I know we'd want to have this conversation more. I'd want to ask you one simple question. What would you tell a woman, you know, tonight who feels less of a woman because she cannot conceive? I think you'd want to speak directly to them. That is your camera directed to you.
Okay. So first, you're a woman just the way you are. There's no, how do I put it? You're complete, whether or not you're a mother, whether or not you have a child, you're complete as a woman. And 2, go get help. There's help for you. Reach out to anyone and get help. Don't sit there feeling depressed and sad, which we usually do, but yeah, get help. I believe we can.
So we're all complete.
Yeah, we are complete.
Whether or not we've given birth.
Yes.
Or not. Well, that has been our guest tonight as we celebrate motherhood. Remember, mother doesn't have to be a biological mom, but the one who stands in the gap. Our guest tonight has been none other than Lydia Ndiho, who is a wealth manager with 15 years of experience in banking and the real estate sector. She's a mother through adoption, and she is also a fertility warrior, having battled PCOS, you know, and she's adopted a girl who is now 9 years old. Passionate about adoption, and her take home is we're complete, we need to explore the options there. Yeah. And let's not apply pressure to those who do not have children. Thank you very much. We have been speaking matters of Mother's Day, so if you've not had a moment to talk to your mom or the person who has filled in that gap as you've been growing up, well, there's still time to do so. It's still within the day as we mark Mother's Day. Now, a family in Matahuta village in Matungulu, Machakos County, is making a desperate appeal to save their only son's eyesight. Joel Vavi, now blind, urgently needs specialized surgery in India, costing 2.5 million shillings. His parents say they have exhausted their resources after months of hospital visits and unsuccessful fundraisers. Our reporter Aaron Marie tells us more.
Inside this modest home in Matakuda village, hope is fading fast for the Nzoka family.
Na nikiwa Nairobi nikakuja nikaambiwa kijana amepata accident ya pikipiki na saa hii macho inaendelea mbaya na kazi yetu wakati wa COVID-19 ikakuwa mbaya, tukarudi nyumbani.
Their son Joel Vavi Nzoka can no longer see.
Kijana alikuwa anaenda kwa matanga pale. Wakati alikuwa anaenda kwa matanga akapatana na mtu akamgonga ile njicho.
Nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya boda boda, ndio nilipata accident, jicho moja ikagongwa.
What began as an eye problem in 2024 has now left him completely blind.
Iligongwa hii jicho, ikaumia hapa na sikujua.
Since then, Joel has been in and out of hospitals as doctors searched for a solution.
Na maneno inaendelea mbaya, mama anafanya Nairobi na mimi nafanya nyumbani, ile napata nanunulia kijana chakula na ile anapata napeleka mtoto hospitali.
His mother Jennifer Waeni says the family moved from one hospital to another, each visit bringing more pain, more uncertainty and rising medical bills.
Kijana kama nimetoka kidogo, akona shida ya kuenda kwa choo, akona shida ya kufua nguo, hawezi pika. Hiyo vitu yote mimi ndio naangalamia na mtengenezi wa vitu ndio nitoke kwa kidogo niende nifanye kazi.
Joel has been attending clinics at Lighthouse for Christ Eye Center Hospital in Mombasa, but his condition has continued to worsen.
Wakati alifanyiwa hiyo njicho ingine, ilikuwa na changamoto juu alirudishwa, alifanyiwa asubuhi yake hiyo macho ilikuwa ina leak, akarudishwa dieta tena.
Doctors have now recommended keratoprosthesis surgery, a specialized eye procedure to be performed in India, costing 2.5 million shillings.
Tulienda hospitali, tukaambiwa hadi tuende India, ndio hii jicho ingine ilifanyiwa operation, ikuwe at least ikuwe inaona.
For George and Jennifer Nzoka, raising such an amount is beyond reach.
well wishers wanihurumie. At least huyu mtoto aende atengeneze hiyo njicho moja, ndio hiyo njicho ndio inaona, hii ingine ni ya kutolewa.
Joel says losing his sight has changed everything.
Challenges niko nazo mingi. Juu kwanza siwezi sifanyia kitu. Kutembea ni shida. Hadi nifanyiwe kila kitu tu.
Daily life now depend on his parents' support.
Watu wanisaidie. Niende nifanyiwe operation. At least nikuwa ninaona tu.
Ile kitu naomba. Kama naweza nipate watu wanisaidie, mtoto aende mahali ameitiwa hospitali, aende afanyiwe hiyo macho, mimi naweza furahia.
The Nzoka family is now appealing to Kenyans of goodwill to help them raise the funds needed for Joel's urgent surgery. Contributions can be sent through M-Pesa number 0703 674632 under the name Jennifer Waini Maingi. Reporting for Sunday Express, I'm Aaron Marie.
Well, to give is to receive. Just in case you missed that particular line and you'd want to help this family down there in Makueni, that is 0703 674 632, and the name is under Jennifer Waini Maingi. Let's help this family get the son the medical attention he requires. Now, Kenya has received a major boost in disaster preparedness after Kiambu and Nairobi counties benefit from advanced training in urban search and rescue, as well as firefighting, sponsored by the Polish Center for International Aid, with Poland investing about $500 million in the initiative since 2014. Now, speaking during the launch, Magdalene Noroski highlighted the importance of preparedness and human safety. The program, launched in partnership with the Kenya Police Service and the National Disaster Management Unit, aims to strengthen coordinated emergency responses and protect lives as well as property in growing urban centers.
Reflects not only strong belief in partnership, solidarity, and the importance of investing in human safety and preparedness.
As the Kenyan Police Service, we are responsible for the safety and security of Kenyans. And this includes saving lives and minimizing the destruction of property when disaster occurs.
We've been able to witness their extreme professionalism and skills levels. You can tell that these are ladies and gentlemen that have been cut from a different cloth.
In the Nairobi metropolitan area, comprising of the 5 areas from Nairobi and Kiambu, is the first such a rescue team between Algeria and South Africa. No other country in Africa has such means of rescuing people under the rubble.
I would wish to state that the challenge with regard to these constructions is not lack of engineers. We have enough engineers that have been trained and certified, but the challenge that we have is that sometimes people want cheap things, and someone will not want to come for a professional engineer.
A continent full of potential, a future full of possibility. The time is now. This May, the world watches Nairobi as Africa and France come together for innovation, growth, and the partnerships that will define our tomorrow. This is the Africa Forward Summit. On May 11th, KBC and Y254 go live from the University of Nairobi for the Africa Forward Business Forum, where 1,500 leaders, CEOs, and young entrepreneurs connect for green growth, AI, and investment. Then on May 12th, we take you live to the Kenyatta International Convention Center for the main Heads of State Summit, with the main focus being green industrialization and energy transition, reform of the international financial architecture, blue economy, sustainable agriculture, peace and security. Africa Forward Summit, live on KBC Channel 1 and Y.
Welcome back. Now, for many Kenyans, rainfall is a blessing, bringing crops, pasture, and renewed hope. But in parts of Garissa and Tana River, the rain signals fear, displacement, and destruction. Every wet season, thousands of families living along River Tana are forced from their homes as floodwaters swallow villages, farms, schools, and schools. Now, our reporter Aaron Marie brings you the story of communities trapped in a cycle of suffering, where every cloud carries a warning.
When the rains begin, most farmers celebrate. But here in Garissa County, the sound of thunder means something very different. It means rushing to higher ground, carrying whatever can be saved, and preparing for another season of loss.
Mwaka juzi, mwaka jana na mwaka huu hakuna mtu amelima. Kwa hivyo shida tunaye hapa ni chakula.
For families living along the River Tana Basin, floods have become a painful annual reality.
Sisi kila mwaka maji yakikuja tuko na shida. Hatuna namna ya kujisaidia.
Shida ambayo tuko nayo ni njaa, hatuna mahema, mattresses zimeenda na maji, hatuna kitu cha kukula. Mpaka hadi dakika hii hatujui tutaelekea wapi, tunatoka wapi na tunaenda wapi.
As flood waters rose this season, more than 1,000 households in Garissa Township were displaced, with authorities warning that nearly 60,000 others remain at risk across the county.
Hali yetu ni hiyo tu ya kuhama maji, tunahama, tunatoka, maji yakikauka tunarudi huko.
Currently we only have those 3 IDP camps in Garissa County. Our teams are on the ground conducting impact assessment of the flooding in the IDP camps, and it's a multi-stakeholder assessment, and then we'll give the report, and then probably support, do a differentiated assistance, support the most vulnerable people.
Many are now sheltering in temporary camp at the Farmer Training Center, Huga, and Police Training College grounds. Inside a worn-out makeshift tent at the FTC camp, Mzee Isa Malio and 6 members of his family tried to rebuild their lives.
Hakuna mipango maalum imefanyika ya watu kuhama. Maana kuambiwa na mtu wa serikali useme hama, unaambiwa wewe mwenyewe ukitaka hama. Sasa ile tunaona ni risk.
Tuliweza kutoka na kuweza kutekeleza wajibu wa serikali, sababu tulipewa onyo na message pia ya Road Cross tulipata.
They fled their home in Ziwani after flood water swept through the village at night. Farming and charcoal burning from invasive madenge trees were their main sources of income. Now, both livelihoods have been washed away.
Na watoto wanapata shida shule, na tukienda huko juu ni shida kwa vile paka watoto wanasoma pande hii.
Next door, Khadija Swale says displacement has become a way of life. Health fears are rising, with cases of fever, diarrhea, and vomiting reported among children.
Shida yetu ingine tukihama huko, magonjwa watoto yanakuwa mengi kwa ajili ya machoo, pia hatuna machoo.
In Bakuyu village, local leader says at least 200 households have been affected.
Sisi pia kama viongozi ni kuwahimiza watu wetu wenye wako huko chini waweze kupata shelter upande ya juu.
Tusimame, Mheshimiwa Senator, msichoke, Mheshimiwa Speaker, muhakikishe kwamba watu wetu wasipate shida wakati huu wa mafuriko.
Sometimes the flooding is not caused by local rainfall alone. Heavy rains upstream or controlled water releases from dams in the Seven Forks hydroelectric scheme can swell the River Tana and burst its banks downstream.
Kuna mpangilio wa kutengeza High Falls Grand Dam ambayo itashika maji. Haya maji yatakuwa hayakuji kusumbua watu, yanakuwa released in a controlled manner.
Residents says they have been advised to relocate permanently to safer areas. Reporting for Legends Edition, I'm Aaron Marie.
Still on matters climate, from devastating thoughts, of sudden destructive rains, climate extremes are becoming a reality in Kenya. In parts of Machakos County, however, locals refuse to be victims of disaster. The communities have now embraced locally driven climate solutions, such as the construction of water reservoirs to harvest rainwater that has long gone to waste. Now, as John Kahiro now reports, such initiatives, which have received support from the government and other partners, are slowly turning the burden of climate change to opportunities and hope for the communities in the region.
As Kenya's lower eastern region has grappled with unprecedented climate shocks from severe drought, and when the skies open, just like many other parts of the country, much of the water flows through seasonal streams and go to waste.
Huku Kambani, seasonal rivers ni mingi. Na kwa hivyo, maji mingi huwa inapita ikienda.
However, deep inside this little-known Kaliambeu village in Yatta area of Machakos County, a new chapter is unfolding, one of a community slowly rising beyond the tides of climate change.
Hii maji imetusaidia sana. Tukijua ya kwamba hii mto imekuwa ni seasonal river na imekuwa maji ikikauka. Kwa hivyo watu wa hapa tumekuwa na shida mingi sana ya maji.
The reservoir is basically to retain water or to harvest water along Mwitasiano River so that the residents of this particular area can be able to avail it. I mean, they can be able to access it for domestic use, for agriculture, and for livestock.
For the locals who walked 4 kilometers to quench their thirst, the weir is a lifeline and a relief. And for the small-scale farmers whose plants once withered, it is an oasis of hope.
Kutusaidia sana. Juu saizi unapata atungojii msimu mvua peke yake kwa kilimo. Saizi bado unaona kwenye maji kwanza inatusaidia. So unapata tunatumia maji kwa mashamba, tunapanda vitu, mifugo wanapata maji, kuku na maji.
But the war against the climate shocks in Machakos County does not end here. In the Theni area of Masinga sub-county, residents are turning the burden of the scorching sun into an opportunity.
Hatukuwa tunapata maji ya kutosha huku. Hakukuwa na boreholes wala nini. Watu walikuwa wanabebana saa ile kuna ukame. Wanabebana mitungi kuenda hata Tana River na ni mbali sana. Masinga Dam ni mbali sana. Ni almost 15 kilometers kutoka mahali tuko sasa.
In the area that has long struggled with water access, solar energy is now being used to pump water from existing harvesting dams, easing access for households and sustaining lives.
The dam was of no use to the community because there wasn't mechanism to pump the water.
Damu hatuwezi tukaenda kuchota mtu kwa damu, tunaongopa ile vitu inakuwa huko ndani kama kipoko, kama nini, unaongopa wewe ukaenda hapa kuchota uwezi. Kuna kipoko, kuna ile kiloko dari, hizo siko huko. Tunaongopa hatuwezi tukaenda huko kuchota.
In addition to availing water for domestic use, the community-led climate action that has received a major boost from the Ministry of Finance through the Financing Locally-Led Climate Action Program has restored the greenery, boosting food security in the villages.
Tunafurahia sababu ile mimea tumepanda haikauki, tunachota maji, tunawekea, tunanyunyuzia, ikikua tunaanza kuweka pesa mfukoni.
And we can see that the pump is able to lift that water 2 kilometers up to where we are now. And now this is the treatment works, and from here this water is going to be distributed to the local community members and different households. The target is that this water will be able to benefit 8,000 beneficiaries, and that is a very good number. Majority of them being women, and also now the distance to the water pointers reduced by 2 kilometers.
From capturing rainwater to harnessing solar energy, the communities in Machakos County are no longer simply enduring climate change, they're now adapting to it.
We are focusing on adaptation because you see most of these local communities are the ones who are most affected by the impact of climate change. So that is why the focus of the government is on adaptation, to build the resilience of these communities to be able to to survive in terms of harsh climatic conditions.
In the face of changing climate characterized by drought and unprecedented rains, initiatives such as this remain a game changer in ensuring that communities have access to reliable water sources and are well equipped to handle future climate shocks. For Channel 1 News from Kwamasele Irrigation Weir in Machakos County, my name is John Kahiro.
Now from Machakos County, we head to Meru County, where a group of elderly women is defying economic hardship by turning traditional weaving skills into a source of income and empowerment. The women under the McKenna Women Group are using sheep wool to make a variety of household and decor products, helping them support their families while preserving a unique craft.
For these elderly women in Meru County, weaving has become more than just a skill. It is now a lifeline, helping them earn a living amid rising economic challenges. The 22 members of the McKenna Women Group use sheep wool sourced from farmers in Timau to make floor mats, carpets, handbags and other interior decor items. Using simple wooden weaving machines and hand processing techniques, the women have transformed the craft into a community business that supports their daily needs. According to the group's chairperson, Sarah Mukiri, the weaving skills were introduced to them by a Norwegian trainer.
Alifunza wa mama wa kutoka around municipality na kutoka Maua, tukaunganishwa pamoja. Tukaanza hii chama. Sasa shida ile tuko nayo ni ya kuuza bidhaa yetu.
Hii kazi nilifundishwa, sio kusoma sana, ni Mungu tu. Mimi baba yangu alikataa kunisomesha, ile klasi 7 ni mimi nilikuwa wa mwisho. Ile klasi 7 ni mimi nimefunga. Sasa baba yangu akakataa kunisomesha. Ndiso nikajua nilijua kuweka rangi, nilijua kusokota hata uzi na hata kapeti najua, kila kitu najua.
The women say the business has helped them reduce dependence on relatives and enable them to provide for their families despite declining sales in recent years.
Kwa tukitegemea tu wanaume na wanaenda hata wao wanakosa kazi. Tukaona hata sisi tuwe tunaweza kujisaidia ili tuwe tunapelekea watoto mikate ama tukasaidia upande mmoja ama mwingine.
Kwa mimi nategemea hapa tu ninasomesha watoto wangu watatu.
They're now appealing for support in marketing their products while encouraging more women and young people to venture into income generating activities.
Saa hii hakuna kazi kwa sababu hatuna customer. Kama tukipata customer, tumepata pesa.
Tunaendelea na hii kazi, lakini siku hizi tunaona inaendelea polepole kwa sababu ya kukosa market. Wako nyumbani wakisema wana kazi, washunge na kazi kidogo kidogo ya wamama, wakae pamoja, wasifunze.
That is my home county. It's good to see that the McKenna Group is helping, change the lives of those women. Now, over 800 meetings have been lined up during the Africa Forward Summit that kicks off tomorrow in Nairobi, which will involve businesses and government agencies. Business of France Chief Executive Officer Louis Magueret says France is waiting to engage both small businesses and large ones in sectors such as renewable energy, agriculture and technology.
Based on early 2026 data from the Kenya Investments Authority, the balance of trade between Kenya and France shows a structural deficit for Kenya, with imports from France exceeding exports. Kenyan exports to France reached approximately 12.4 billion shillings, while imports from France exceeded 28.7 billion shillings, leaving a deficit of over 16 billion shillings. Now, France is looking to revise gaps.
We have the nuclear program that allows us to propose access to a low price of electricity with a proper volume, so probably better than many other European countries.
The upcoming Africa Forward Summit 2026 is being angled as an opportunity for both parties to renew business ties. with Kenyan companies being extended a reciprocal invite for opportunities in France.
Just some words about French attractiveness for Kenyan and African investors. As I said, there are today 65, which is higher than the previous years. And I hope that these figures will increase in the next months and next years.
Currently, there are about 140 French companies operating in Kenya, with the numbers set to grow as opportunities in the Kenyan market grows.
It's an African-France event, and we, out of the 800 B2B and B2G meetings that we are organizing for the French companies that are coming, and the Kenyan companies that are here, they are mostly with African countries.
With multinationals coming into town, small businesses will be looking to make those big deals in such a continental summit. Alan Oko, Sunday Express.
Still on that bit, civil society organizations have urged the heads of state across Africa to prioritize good governance as a central driver for sustainable development. Speaking in Nairobi County during a Social Innovation Pavilion Forum ahead of the two-day Africa Forward Summit 2026 scheduled for Monday and Tuesday next week, civil society called on leaders to relook at governance models to ensure transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. The civil society organizations are set to present a comprehensive 60-page memorandum over to 30 African heads of state at the Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi. The Principal Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, Dr. Ibrahim Korir, expressed Kenya's commitment in prioritizing good governance.
A congregation of civil society organizations drawn from across Africa converge in Nairobi County for the Social Innovation Pavilion Summit ahead of the Monday Africa Forward Summit. During the engagement, governance, protection of human rights, regional security and artificial intelligence emerged as pressing issues affecting African states.
We are looking into ways in which our continent, Africa, can remain autonomous and use, for instance, its natural resources, use technology for the service of its people.
Africa is the youngest population in the world, the most diverse continent, with all the minerals that you can think of. How come that has not translated into wealth and dignity for its people and all the societies?
The lobby groups call on leaders to relook at governance models to ensure transparency, accountability and rule of law are adhered to.
Africans, 30 heads of state, we are saying that all our politics, all our minerals, technology should work for the people and not work for the global, not just work for the global arena without benefiting us.
Good governance is a central motif of development, without which you cannot achieve sustainable development. And so we are encouraging each other within the African continent to look for the best models for being able to advance good governance.
The meeting that brought together more than 100 civil society organizations also pinpointed emerging governance challenges that threaten the state of democracy in Africa. The group will in the meantime present a white paper to the 39 heads of state expected to attend the Africa Forward Summit.
These 60 proposals have to do with various sectors, beginning with our mineral resources. God knows we do own a lot, dealing with our models of inclusive governance.
The two-day summit will be co-hosted by President William Ruto and his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron.
The civil society, they are calling for transparency and accountability as we head into the Africa Forward Summit. We're going to be keeping tabs on that. KBC Channel 1 is going to be bringing you, televising that particular summit to you live. Now to the counties. A sorrowful mood engulfed Antobetwe village in Mutwati, sub-county, Meru County, during a burial of a boda operator who was shot dead by an unknown assailant 2 weeks ago. Leaders and residents demanded justice over the killing. And this and other stories in our county news roundup.
The deceased boda operator, identified as Rojas Mutua, was reportedly heading home from Atobwete Market when he was attacked and left with serious injuries by the roadside. He succumbed while being rushed to hospital. Family and friends are now calling on authorities to arrest those responsible.
Ile watu ya Antobetwe kile kitu tunatafuta leo ni haki.
Siku mingi tumekuja maneno ya majishi hapa, siku ya Njonji tukaongea hapa, wanasiasa wakakuja wakaongea hapa, lakini hakuna kitu ambaye ilitendeka. Haki ya Njonji na kifo ya Mutua ni kama ile ya George.
Justice ya Mutua haitapatikana within the timeline ya wiki moja. We are going to mobilize the people of Hantubetwe to demonstrate.
In Kilifi County, residents of Ngongoni area in Magarini sub-county are protesting against the expansion of a local salt manufacturing company, accusing it of encroaching on settlement areas and contaminating water sources.
Kisima ndo hai wetu. Watoto wanasoma kutumia hii maji. Kwa sababu gari ikija hapa ikichota, tunapata chochote, tunasomesha watoto. Lakini saa hii shida ambayo imeingia ni Muhindi analeta maji ya chumvi kutengeneza mabirika, sisi maji yetu yanaharibika.
Separately, stakeholders in Isiolo County have raised concern over the increasing cases of technology-facilitated gender-based violence.
The cases are many within the community, but there are challenges in reporting because of awareness.
Meanwhile, more than 35,000 needy and vulnerable students in Kakamega County are set to benefit from 149.3 million shillings bursary fund. However, the program has sparked criticism over a section of members of the County Assembly over accountability concerns surrounding previous bursary allocations.
Ningependa kuomba walimu wakuu na pia board of management kuhakikisha kwamba watoto hawa hawafukuzwi tena.
Last financial year, we passed a budget in this house, 180 million. 3 million per ward. Watu wakasign forms zikakuja huko application. Hizo forms zimeenda na zimeendanga hivyo na hiyo mambo ya 180 million imenyamaza.
And Ruiru constituency in Kiambu County is facing mounting pressure in meeting the growing demand for bursary support among needy learners.
Fees capitation inaachiliwa kwa muda ambao unafaa. Sababu watoto wengi kama vile sasa hivi naongea hapa, watoto wengi wako nyumbani.
Elsewhere, at least 1,200 students at Moigal's Senior Kajiado County are set to benefit from improved access to safe and reliable water following the launch of a water reticulation and hygiene training project at the school.
This is a school that has 1,700 learners, and for the longest time they have been experiencing water loss. And we have come here to ensure that the learners of this school have a conducive learning environment.
Finally, journalists, conservationists and blue economy stakeholders have called for more accurate and community-centered reporting on ocean conservation along Kenyan coast.
We are having a dialogue, a media dialogue on environmental conservation, and that linking that to the blue economy sector. And as a stakeholder in the blue economy sector, what are we doing and what are we actually contributing to help create thriving enterprises that actually reduce suppressing.
Kerere ni ya nini sasa?
Wewe ulipata wapi hiyo madaraka ya kufanya mpaka uongezee vitu bei?
Wewe acha kulalisha
matumbo na ugali 80 wo 150 mpaka 80. Hiyo achana nayo. Kwambia ukua ingia ndani ukua utakula.
Hata pesa yako ni pesa ngapi?
50 bob tu.
Hani kwani wewe una uchanja ya Nairobi? Niko na kashita kadogo lakini unajua nikakupwa kwangu inakaa kama elephant lakini kwako ni kainsi.
Sina pesa.
Haya.
Unafanya nini? Unataka kuwekea watu sumu?
Halo. Nani diglo paje? Unaniangaliaje hapa na nabisha?
Aya.
Unaonyesha nani meno? Ukicheka tena na kuvunja, si ati nini? Ama unataka nikuvunje?
Vunja, weka mawe, weka.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sunday Express Sport. And Kenya has unveiled its national beach volleyball squads for the upcoming 2026 CFVB Continental Beach Volleyball Championship and the LA 2028 Olympic Games zonal qualifiers set for the 20th to the 26th of this month in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The team consists of 4 men and 4 women.
The men's team will comprise Richard Amutala, Naftali Chumba, Anthony Chimanyi and Reagan Kipchirchir, with the quartet expected to lead Kenya's challenge against some of Africa's top-rated beach volleyball nations. In the women's category, Kenya has selected Veronica Adhiambo, Shalene Sambel, Selina Gambo and Sharon Chepkogei to fly the national flag at the Continental Showdown and Olympic qualification campaign. The technical bench will be led by coaches Patrick Owino and Sila Makiso, alongside physiotherapist Alex Godana, referee Nzinga Chalo, and team manager John Ogara. According to the federation, the selected players earned their places after impressive performances and consistent displays during training and preparations. Frederick Muki for Sunday Express.
And Kenya amassed a total of 3 medals, that's 3 bronze and 1 silver, as the 17th edition of the Africa Aquatics Championships culminated in Oran, Algeria. Haniel Kuduoli broke the national record in the 50-meter breaststroke after clocking 28.62 seconds to clinch bronze. Meanwhile, Sarah Mose clinched bronze in the women's 100 meters freestyle. Meanwhile, Sadais Bashir, a product of Kenya's Visa Dolphins club representing Somalia, clinched victory in the boys category, clocking 1 minute 11.39 seconds. Kabiro Women FC were crowned champions of the inaugural Kawangware Football Peace Cup, which was graced by Dagoretti South Sub-County Commander Dr. Margaret Gakami, together with Community Relations Foundation officials. This is after claiming a 5-3 win over Kawangware women. Meanwhile, Gatina beat Kilimani by 2-0, while Kileleshwa claimed a 3-0 win over CRF. Dr. Gakami said the initiative is aimed at bringing women together and celebrating women and mothers during this year's International Mother's Day.
Of May at Gatina Primary School, and the purpose of the tournament is basically to celebrate our women on this special day for the biggest role that they play in the society. Women in our society, they really play a big role, and once we empower a woman, we have not only empowered her household, but we have also empowered the community and nation at large.
Organization, kazi yetu kubwa sana huwa ni kuhamasisha uhusiano wa askari ama uhusiano wa discipline forces na raia.
And Amos Kiprotich and Dorin Kibet produced stunning performances and won the 10-15 kilometer road race, which was held at Elgeyo Marakwet County. In the men's category, 25-year-old Amos Kiprotich timed 44 minutes and 33 seconds, while Dennis Kipkurui finished second in 44 minutes and 47 seconds. Kiprono Kipkemoi finished third in 44 minutes and 59 seconds. The women's race was won by 23-year-old Dorin Kibet in 51 minutes and 6 seconds. Judy Japgetich clocked 52 minutes and 10 seconds to finish second, while Naomi Chamweno settled for third position. Both Kiprotich and Kibet walked away with 250,000 shillings in prize money.
Tulikuwa wengi strong athletes wenye wamekompete international, so ilikuwa inabidi tu usukume kawa watarespond sawa tuende nao.
Race leo imekuwa tough kidogo. From kwenye nilisikia ilikuanga 11K. Nikaona pace ilikuwa chini kidogo, ndio nikapandisha kidogo.
And tributes have continued to pour in following the demise of former Gor Mahia and Harambee Stars midfield maestro Alan Thigo, who passed away yesterday. Thigo is remembered as one of Kenya's greatest midfielders, having starred for Gor Mahia in the 1970s and early 1980s after joining from Kisumu Hot Stars in 1970. Gor Mahia patron Eliud Owalo has described him as the greatest attacking midfielder of his generation, praising his creativity, vision and lasting impact on Kenyan football. He helped the club to win multiple league titles and featured in the historic 1979 Africa Cup Winners' Cup final. At international level, he earned 81 caps for Kenya, scoring 11 goals, and was part of the squad that made Kenya's first Africa Cup of Nations appearance in 1972. And the Mombasa Aquatics emerged as the overall champions of the inaugural Kilifi Aquatics Invitational Long Course Swimming Championship, which came to a close at the Kilifi International School. Mombasa topped the medal table with an impressive 171 points, followed by Mandera Swim Club in second place with 128, while Blue Ocean Swim Club finished third with 69 points. The championship attracted over 250 swimmers from different clubs across the country and showcased high-level competition in the freestyle, butterfly, breaststroke and backstroke and relay events.
I'm really privileged for this opportunity because today during the 1-5, I managed to be position 1 and I also beat my timing.
We took down short course, now in long course. We want to take our swimmers farther and farther, hopefully for nationals, then international level.
This is our first event and the turnout has been amazing. We have clubs like Blue Ocean, Mandera, Mombasa Aquatics, Gliding Dolphins, Crazy Krakens, and many other clubs gracing our first event.
That's the sport for tonight and tomorrow afternoon. Lots happening at the University of Nairobi grounds, and this is the Africa Forward Summit. It's going to be a high-level sport event, so look out for that. Basketball, track and field, and a little bit of football. All conversations will be there. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good night. I hand you over to Ray to close down the bulletin.
Thank you very much, Wahome, for that particular recap of what has been happening in the sporting arena. We'll look forward to have that sporting part of the program on the Africa Forward Summit. Well, that puts a cap on matters in the headlines, as well as news tonight on Sunday Express. I'm Regina Manyara. My colleague has been none other than Byron Abuli on sign language. Have a pleasant week ahead.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music.